think it takes to have a networking conversation? It takes 6 to 10 minutes. It takes 6 minutes to have a conversation long enough that the person that you were talking to will remember you when you follow through. And if you aren't going to follow through, there's no reason for being here. Because if the only reason to be here is to collect business cards and stick them in your upper left-hand desk drawer where they'll make no money, then you should have just slept in, right? So, with every person you speak to, the most important question is, how am I going to follow through? Right? The question you're asking yourself with each person you speak to today is, how am I going to touch them again?
Well, I was coaching last night, so 4 years and actually it's still with the same.
Conversation became more personal, more about the person rather than about the business. This is the most important tool to learn. We do not do business with businesses. We do not refer business to businesses. We do business with people, and we refer our clients to great people. That means that the most important skill that we can learn is the skill of very quickly finding out what we have in common with this person. And your assignment is to find what the two of you have in common. Let me give you some examples. In a room not unlike this, a gentleman found out that the young woman he was speaking with was the daughter of someone he had served with in Vietnam and had not seen since. In a room not unlike this, two people found out that what they had in common was that they were both accountants. Then they found out they both had a 15-year-old daughter. Then they found out that both of the girls were named Lauren, and they had both broken their left elbow the previous Thursday. But I'll give you my all-time favorite. My all-time favorite is the woman who found out that the lady she was talking with had been a bridesmaid in her husband's 5th wedding. I did not ask. So finding out what we have in common is a key to effective networking skills. When you meet them again, though, instead of finding out what you have in common, they're likely to say to you the all-important question. Robert, this is your cue.
So what's new?
And if we say, oh, you know, same old, there's nothing to talk about. Worse, researchers have found that if we say, oh my gosh, I've been so busy, you can't believe how busy I've been so busy, there's no hope of referrals because this person would not want to add to our load. I've been so busy is the #1 referral killer.
You're lucky to see the doctor.
Willing to listen to someone else talk about themselves for about a minute. When we talk for a minute 20, the other person begins to think about what they're going to say when we shut up. At a minute 40, they begin actively looking for us to take a breath so that they can interrupt. And in 2 minutes, it's all over. They're not listening anymore. Worse, they forget what we're talking about. Started to make some money for you. Now here's the piece that's important. We can't get to this if we don't do the work we've already done, right? Unless we've done the pre-work, we never get to the good stuff. Because we feel like people are just shoving business cards in our face and we don't have the conversation. So what you just learned was that at 4 minutes you can start to have the real conversation. You've met 10 people. You've met 10 people in 45 minutes. Now here's the key to networking. Networking is about I've got a guy. In other words, right? People who are now well networked are the ones who, when you tell them you have a problem, say, I've got a guy. Here's the scoop. If we don't tell other people why we're good, we can't be their guy. It's our responsibility to differentiate ourselves from our competition by sharing why we're really good at what we do. Question for you. If the person you're speaking with seemed arrogant to you, raise your hand. Because our fear is that when we say good things about ourselves, we'll be perceived as arrogant. So the thing that you want to know is, as long as what we say simply is about ourselves, it's not perceived as arrogant. Arrogance is totally based on comparison. If I say, I'm a certified picky person and you're not, that's arrogant. That's not attractive. When I simply say what is about myself, it's not arrogant. So feel very comfortable saying what is about yourself, just do not ever compare yourself to anyone else. Does this make sense, ladies? One to your right, and I'll give you your next assignment.
Got to have a lunch club today.
Talk about us. We have to give them something to talk about, and that is what differentiates us, why we're good at what we do. You guys comfortable with that? Another thing that we have to do is tell them stories. We have to tell them stories because human memory is attached to two things, color and motion. By the way, if you'd like to read on this, the book Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath is phenomenal. If we want our message to stick in people's minds, we must include color and motion. That means we have to give a story. So in this round, I want you to start with, I'm best when.
Try to reload their software with the support of the critical software.
Some of you would like to know how to keep score. There are some metrics. A profitable networking conversation lasts 6 to 10 minutes. Shorter than 6 minutes, and you haven't found out what you have in common, you haven't shared why you're good at what you do, and you haven't talked about a client in a story yet. Longer than 10 minutes, and you're missing opportunity cost. Move on, you got other people to meet. You can see these people again later, you'll have their card. In a 2-hour networking event, how many people can you have 6 to 10 conversations with? 6 to 10 minute conversations with in 2 hours? 12 to 20. Here are the metrics. If you meet, let's use 20 just because it's easier math. If you meet 20 people in 2 hours, notice that if you met 24 people, your results would not be this high because you wouldn't have talked with them long enough. If you meet 20 people in 2 hours, half of them, 10, are in the current market for your product or service. Of those, or are potential clients for you. Of those 10, half are ready now. That's 5. And now it's your follow-through, your ability to stay in touch, and your ability to meet their needs that determines closing rate. 50% is really good. That means 2.5 or 3 new clients from a 2-hour networking event. If you were good at this, you would never miss a chamber function because it would make you money. So your assignment for today is not only to follow through with the people who you've written something on their card, but also to recalibrate for yourself and determine which of these skills are important for you to practice, and then put the next chamber event on your calendar. My name is Wendy Kinney. Ready, set, go make money.